Good afternoon, folks. It is time for a legit news/rumors video, and I am getting from a very trusted source in Chat Sports here. And you probably get an idea of kind of what creator has told me this, but it's time for you to know what I know and finally able to talk about it because, I just wanted to make sure this is 100%. So before we get into this bad boy, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Why is that? Because we talk all things Detroit Lions news and rumors, and sometimes get a legit one here. So I asked this individual, hey, do the Lions have a legit shot at Maxx Crosby? We have been hearing mixed reports and rumors. Have you heard anything that's legit? The response, there's a chance, but I don't think he wants to go there based on what I've heard. I heard Detroit offered 2 first rounds for him, but Detroit isn't his top choice. I don't know the top choice. I'm not going to ask the top choice because this individual has not said the top choice themselves. However, Detroit has offered 2 first-round picks for Maxx Crosby. Now, there is rumors coming around that the Las Vegas Raiders would like to have, 2 first-round picks and a player. The team that he prefers to go to is unwilling to match what the teams like the Lions are willing to do right now. So, what does that mean? Don't know. And this individual says 80% chance that Maxx Crosby gets dealt, more like nearly 100% this week. Totally believe in it. And obviously the other team that's rumored is the Chicago Bears. You see here the Dallas Cowboys as well. So we don't know the preferred destination for Maxx Crosby, but the Lions have offered 2 first-round picks for Maxx Crosby. So in the comments right now, do you want the Lions to get Maxx Crosby? T for trade, P for pass. Okay? You've just heard what the Lions have done. Now, if we don't get Maxx Crosby, I'm not going to be too upset at Brad Holmes. He tried. And I trust this guy 1,000%. He tried. They offered 2 first-round picks, and I'm sure, maybe even more, but no for sure 2 first-round picks for Maxx Crosby, but his preferred destination is not the Lions. So he really wants to go to a certain team, and apparently it's not Detroit. But that team is unwilling to offer what the teams of Detroit is offering. So that puts us in a situation here. What's going to happen? I don't know. This is huge because you feel like he's going to go to the NFC. The Rams just made a mega trade today. Get in the corner from Kansas City. You have the Bears aggressively trying to get Maxx Crosby, but I've been hearing now they're targeting Trey Hendrickson. Could they be out on Maxx Crosby? We'll see. But they're looking to get a pass rusher. Okay? Well, a lot of releases and a lot of crazy stuff coming out of Minnesota. They look like they're in a world of hurt. We're not hearing a whole lot from the Packers. Why is that? They did the trade for Micah Parsons last year. So this coming days, relatively soon, there's going to be a move that I feel is going to change the NFC. We don't know where Maxx Crosby is going to go. It could be Detroit. But they tried. If we fail, if they don't get Maxx Crosby, I'm not going to get mad at this regime because I can confirm that they tried. And they did offer significant picks. 2 first-round picks is confirmed. That is, that's not bad. We're seeing Woodward Sports. They said, what would you do? Would you do 2 firsts and a player? But this is 100% true. And so now we get to find out what's going to be happening to Maxx Crosby. All I can say is we're going to, because this is a big deal, and hopefully we know soon, because it's going to change the landscape, like I was saying, of the NFC. If Maxx Crosby goes to Chicago Bears, that's a nightmare scenario for the Lions. It's a nightmare scenario. You'd have Montez Sweat and Maxx Crosby. That's not good. When we're in a time and we're just trying to compete in the NFC that is so difficult, with teams like the Rams making moves. All these teams are making moves and being aggressive, trying to take that next step. Now, again, I'm going to ask you, would you make that trade? 2 first-round picks for Maxx Crosby. T for trade, P for pass. I don't want him to go to Chicago. That is the worst-case scenario for the Lions. It would be. It would 100% be. He is really good. And you put him with Montez Sweat, that defensive line would be absolutely terrifying. And we're hearing reports that we may not go big in free agency in regards to signing players. I don't really believe that report. We'll get into that in a second. But if that happens, Chicago's going to be favored to win the division. Right? So that's something we don't want. Dallas, I have a gut feeling. Again, I haven't talked to anyone on this. This is my gut feeling that maybe Maxx Crosby wants to go to the Dallas Cowboys. I don't know. It's just hard to tell. But they have a lot of ability to make trades as well. Then you have the Philadelphia Eagles. I don't know if they're involved in it. What other teams? Maybe the Patriots that are in the AFC. Best case scenario is him go to the AFC. You know, if he wouldn't come to Detroit. But it seems there's a lot of aggressive teams in the NFC really hard trying to get Max. So I think he's going to be in the NFC. You say, how could the Lions do this? How could they make a move like this? Well, it's pretty easy. Like I told you before, you just restructure Jared Goff contract, maybe St. Brown. If there is a player involved, that will reduce the cap there. You got to understand Taylor Decker's not going to be here next year. Frank Ragnow is retired. Kirby Joseph, I do believe, is only going to be here this year. We have the ability to cut him next year. Same with DJ Reed. His cap is nothing next year. So I think that the Lions, they have that ability, right? To do that. And the Lions have a ton of draft picks right now. Just a ton. And we're hearing that the DJ Reed injury plus Carlton Davis trade may jump from a 5 to a 3rd. And a 3rd round draft pick would be huge. So it's not like you'd be screwed forever right now, currently slated with 9 draft picks in this year's draft. That's quite a bit of draft picks. So if you were to give up a player in Maxx Crosby, you give up the 17th pick. You give up next year's late 1st round pick, because you would fully expect it's going to be a late 1st round pick. And a player, I don't know, maybe some sort of young player that they would covet. And I think that the Lions could make that work. And they have tried, according to what I just got told by Chat Sports there. So, for me, the Lions have tried. I don't know if it happens or where he goes, but they have tried. If he doesn't come to Detroit, they tried. With that said, Brad Holmes, I think you have to do whatever you can to make sure he doesn't go to Chicago. And I don't want to get into a bidding war, but him in Chicago for the next 3 years would be horrible for the Lions, trying to be a team to consistently win the NFC North and to win a Super Bowl. Legitimately, the Bears would be terrifying. It would make their team much better. I know their center just retired and they went and signed another one. But him in Chicago or Indiana Bears, would not be good for the Lions. That's the absolute worst case scenario. And Brad Holmes needs to understand this. Dan Campbell needs to tell him, it'd be terrible. It would just be terrible. I don't know if it can be done, what can be done, but I think all of us just need to hope he doesn't go to Chicago. If he comes to Detroit, I think it's a game changer. I do. I'm for it. I am for Maxx Crosby coming to Detroit. I am happy that they tried, that they're trying. I am happy that they're in the conversation. I am happy that they are doing what they think they can to get him to Detroit, because he is a game changer. Him and Aiden Hutchinson would be terrifying. We have secondary issues. That pretty much fixes it. They would be absolutely terrifying. Hell, if you can't do that, what about Kayvon Thibodeau? We heard Jonathan Grenard is potentially in a trade. But the Lions have to somehow make sure that the Bears don't get Maxx Crosby. That's my fear. Just give me your thoughts about this info. Adios.